Hello everyone, thank you very much for tuning in. Today, we're not going to disappoint. We have got an exclusive for you. Yes, we have now finally created the theme tune. Enjoy.
Good evening, everybody here. This is the latest episode of the North versus South podcast with myself, State, the Northern Master, and my opponent, Heath.
How are you?
I'm great, mate. I'm really good today. It's Friday. Well, we're recording on Friday, actually. Yeah, cracking. Really good today. Nice hot week we've had. Great sunshine. International week is over. It's gone. It's finito. We're back to the FPL this week. Pumped for it. Big weekend. Ronaldo's back. So yeah, let's be having it, everybody. So for those who are listening to our podcast for the first time, just a quick explanation about what we're here and what we're doing. We're trying to offer you advice. Might not be good advice, it might be bad advice, but we're here talking about all things FPL. Me and Heath are. The beauty and the uniqueness about us is I do a Northern team, the 10 most Northern-based sides in the Premier League. I can only pick my players from those 10 sides. He can only do it from the 10 most Southern sides. So that's what we're about. But today, we've got an action-packed episode for you. We'll do our game week review from the previous game week, which was obviously a couple of weeks ago. We're going to do our shit list, 5 players max each. Shit list is always a good one, guys. So, have your own shit lists ready. We'll listen to them, tweet us when later on. We'll have our little mini league updates. Then North versus South, it's a knockout debate. It's the quarterfinals for the Northern sides this week, which I'll be doing. Then we've got a game week preview, and then Heath, I believe you've got us a great quiz lined up for later to test my footballing knowledge.
That's correct. It's a transfer quiz this week. We obviously weren't really recording our normal weekly stuff last week, so I thought let's not forget about these transfers and let's make sure that everyone knows which players have gone from the north to the south or vice versa.
Excellent. Sounds good. So action-packed episode. I hope everyone enjoys it. Let's get cracking.
Okay, yeah. So the game week review of the week. I mean, it's been a very strange time, hasn't it, with the international break? Neither State nor myself got called up to the big podcasts, the Fantasy Football Scout podcast. Neither of us got called up for that this week or the week before. So we had a lot of time just to chill with our families and relax and get all kind of motivated for this podcast, which I don't know about you, mate, but it's better late than never. And that I will just have a disclaimer here and apologize to everyone for the lateness of this podcast. That's down to me and my other half going to the Lake District, which was glorious. Going up north. I mean, although State informs me that doesn't technically count as the north. They're interesting people up there, he tells me.
The lakes are interesting. I tell you what, it's a great place to go, but it's like its own place as the lakes, and you've got the South Lakes, the North Lakes. There's even a divide up there, I reckon. So they could maybe have their own North-South podcast
if they want to spin off
teams in the lakes.
If they want to spin off the Ambleside and Lakeside spin off, then let us know.
They'll need to pay, won't they? Copyright infringement and all that. So
yeah.
We need that. But yeah.
Excellent. So State, do you want to give us a quick rundown of your review of the previous week before the international duty?
It was shit. It was a bad week at the office, and this is probably why I didn't get the call up. I mean, I had a missed call off them, and an unknown number, and I thought, this could be it, but no, it wasn't. He was just some blooming idiot trying to sell me a new phone or something. But yeah, didn't need that. But yeah, bad week at the office was game week 3 for the Northern Super Kings. I think we blew our load in the first game week, and life has just gone to pot. Lots of issues in the team, but this was my team basically for that third game week. So I had Jordan Pickford in net. he got me 6 points. Everton got a clean sheet. They're doing all right under Rafa, which I'm really happy about because I like Rafa. I think he's a top man. Ruben Diaz, defence, 6 points for Man City, clean sheet. They whooped the Arsenal. The rest of my defence, 2 points for Luke Thomas, for Leicester, didn't keep a clean sheet. And then Simicast at Liverpool is now on the bench and he only got me 1 point because Robertson's back. Midfield, Brownhill, who I was forced to put in, if you remember the last episode, everybody. Heath's punishment for the quiz was that, I had to have Brownhill in my starting 11. Yeah.
What's his first name?
Josh Brownhill, sorry. Josh Brownhill. Exactly. This is how irrelevant he is to my fantasy team. I don't even get his first name right. Bruno Fernandes, 2 points, 12 million, well spent at the moment there, well done. Harvey Barnes, 2 points, definitely not good enough. Mo Salah, brilliant, 10 points. I just didn't make him my captain for some stupid reason. My captain was Mahrez. He only played 29 minutes. He got an assist though, so I got 8 points from him. And then my front two, Callum Wilson got 9 points for Newcastle, did his job, good man. Richarlison, 1 point. And then my bench, unfortunately, I had Patrick Bamford with 8 points on the bench because he finally got off the mark for the season. Connor Cody, 2 points, and then my Norwich wannabe, Omar Badele, 0 points. He's like the UK in the Eurovision Song Contest. 0 points every time. So yeah, 48 points. Bad week at the office, under the average. Lots of mistakes made by the gaffer. So
made me feel happier, mate. I mean, I don't know if I could be happier with that. But who was Brownhill? Who I assume Brownhill was going to be on the bench. Who was going to be starting instead of him?
I think it might have been Patrick Bamford by any chance. Yeah. To be fair, it should have been Harvey Barnes, but they were playing Norwich, and I was just hoping he was just going to rekindle that form he had last season before he got injured. I'm thinking, right, this is the time. He's going to come back. He's going to get there. But no, it's not happened. And you'll find out about what happened to young Harvey later on in the episode.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
Mentioned a few times. But yeah, enough about my team. No one wants to hear about that. Let's hear about your team, Heath. Come on,
mate. I don't want to be one of those guys. Kind of.
Be there, aren't you?
Yeah, probably a little bit. Yeah, exactly. Nice I mean, I'm not gonna lie. After that first game week, I was, well, to a certain extent, shitting my pants. Yes. And after seeing Fernandes and Salah and all these chaps scoring goals for fun, I did think it was going to be a long old season. But now I'm top of the league with 6 points to your 3. I can now walk into this room, head held high, and look at players like, all right, Emi Martinez. He's done absolutely nothing for me so far, and he did nothing for me this week. I don't know how he hasn't made a certain list that's coming up, but I got 72. I don't want to get too carried away here. I got 72 points, which is a big win for me. Martinez, I'd say, got 2 points. Aaron Cresswell with cheeky 5. He got an assist, but he did concede twice against Crystal Palace. Aaron, that's slightly disappointing you're conceding goals like that, but we're having fun at West Ham. And, I didn't really bring you into the team for clean sheets. I brought you in for assists, and that's what you gave me this week. So thank you for that. Another assist for Reece James. But was it deliberate? Was it accidental? Well, I don't know. But he got sent off against Liverpool. I can't say I was watching the Chelsea-Liverpool game, but what I heard, Chelsea were doing pretty well against Liverpool, and that was a turning point. So Reece James, you just got me a point. Can't complain too much because when you see someone's got sent off, you do think negative numbers. I got a point out of that. Fair enough.
Yeah,
Lewis.
Yeah, he was unlucky. I mean, but the letter of the law is the letter of the law.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where if it's your team, it's a definite penalty. And if you're a Chelsea fan, that's controversial. But Lewis Dunk with a point. He hasn't done much for me so far. Again, can't complain. Yeah, Sergio Reguilon has to be one of the stars of the season so far. Spurs, top of the league. Looks like everything's going their way. Reguilon got me 9 points. That's such a decent score for him, and that's three clean sheets in a row. Yeah, 3 bonus points. He got three clean sheets in a row, and like you say, 3 bonus points. Now we're getting to midfield, and this is where the points start getting bigger. Emi Buendia, he got me a nice juicy 10-point, double figures, 3 bonus points, got a goal against Brentford. Realistically, if you're looking at Brentford and Watford in your first 3 games, 2 promoted teams, you would be expecting a bit more from him. But, you know, he's done what I want him to do. He's got a goal, he's got some bonus points, and hopefully he'll settle in and, you know, get going for us. But I had Kai Havertz with 7 gain, you know, got a goal against Liverpool, so that's really, really good. But that again, that Reece James sending off really sent him backwards. So,
well, yeah, he was the one who got hold, wasn't he? For
exactly. So. Yeah, so he only played 45 minutes, but got a goal, got a cheeky bonus point. And then my star, I mean, you know, as you may know by now, as a Watford fan, I was a little bit heartbroken by the goal, but Heung-min Son scored what was really a bit of a howler by our goalkeeper, free kick. But, you know, I hedged my bets. And when that went in, I just thought, well, at least I'm getting the points from my captain. So 20 points for Son. He did me well, especially considering that none of the Northern guys really scored big. So you couldn't really get any big points from your captaincy. So the only 2 people that were, you know, kind of considered captain material was him and another guy on my team, Antonio, with 11. He's just ridiculous. I mean, 3 games so far. He's got 4 goals, 4 assists. This week against Palace, he got a goal and assist. And I don't really understand why his value hasn't risen more. I guess maybe a lot of people had him early on in the season, but he's only up to 7.8. I thought he would have been pushing 7.98 million by now. But
he's gone up again, by the way. He's moved up to 7.9 now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Fair enough.
He got moved up later on this week. So
okay, fair enough.
So he's getting there. You know, it's not another week or so, and he'll be 8 million plus. That's for sure. It's such
a bargain. Just the only thing with Antonio, like I've said previously, is just that an injury could come, and that's, you know, a big loss for.
Yeah, if you look at his stats, he doesn't play. You know, more seasons. You know, last couple of seasons he hasn't played over 2,000 minutes in the season, and that's probably, you know, not, and that's, well, no, there's not probably about it. It's not enough, really, you know, because it means he's only been getting like 120 points sort of thing. And, you know, if you look at the top players, you know, like, you know, you look at Son, for instance, he played 3,000 plus minutes last season. He gets 228 points, you know, so it's, you know, that's always been Antonio's problem, hasn't it? But, you know, hopefully, well, not hopefully, I suppose, for my sake, but you know, if he has a full season, I'm sure he'll be hitting 200 plus points.
It just worries me about Europe for West Ham because, you know, will they play him, or I don't know. It's too tempting. No, they probably can't, but it's too tempting. I'm sure he'd want to play. But yeah, moving on from Antonio, let's kind of, like I say, I could talk about this all night, but Danny Ings got me an assist for Buendia's goal, which is, again, brilliant. When you see that, that must be one of the best feelings when you've got 2 players from the same team, you get goal and assist from them. I probably would have expected it to be the other way around, but Ings got me 4 points. Romelu Lukaku was obviously affected by the sending off of James, so he only got me 2 points. And then my bench was a perfect bench in the sense that none of them got me points, so I can kind of rest easy knowing that I chose the right players. So I had Sanchez from Brighton with 2, Rico Henry with 2, Saka just the 1, and Emil Smith-Rowe with 2. So, like I say, overall 72 points. I'm really, really happy with that. And again, like I could go on about this all night, but I'm not going to, State, because you're my friend and I'm not a dick.
What a load of crock! What a load of bull! I'm not buying into that. Just yeah, but you know, I think it's just more the fact that you're just really keen to get into the shit list because you're probably really excited to hear mine because you know there's going to be a fair few on it. It's going to be a busy week. So
lovely stuff.
But yeah, good result for you. You've dominated the game week, and my boys have some catching up to do. But there's a few. I'll be surprised if you haven't made a lot of changes for this week, given a lot of those players have got issues for the upcoming game week, whether that be international quarantine or injury or suspension. So I will put money on your side, looking a lot different later on in the evening.
Yeah, and I think that is a little hint at both our situations come the game week preview later on. So if you're one of those people that starts listening to a podcast and then gets bored, just know that there's still a lot to come, and the game week preview is going to be quite good fun. Let's get into the shit list. So State, if you want to tell the listeners what the shit list is all about.
The shit list is exactly how it sounds, listeners. It's a shit list. You might have one at work. You might just have one in life. You might have one about your house. Who knows? Something's on your shit list. Well, we've got one for our FPL, for the FPL. It doesn't just have to be from your own team. It could be for anyone. You can put anyone on your shit list, to be fair, if you want to. It's all about 5 players max who have really sort of done something to irk you. It doesn't necessarily have to be players. I think we've had a referee in there already this season, to be fair. Managers, you can put a manager on your shit list if you want. So lots of opportunity for the shit list. So yeah, Heath, who is on your shit list this week? Can't be many. Sure.
So this is going to be a short list for me, because you get to this point after 2 very successful game weeks. It'd be very hard to have a long list. So I'll start with my one player that you probably go where he shouldn't be on there anymore, but I'm going to stick with Emi Buendia. I think for me, he's not done enough so far. I look at Aston Villa and I looked at their fixtures beginning, and I thought, I've got to make the most of them while it lasted. They had Watford, Newcastle, Brentford, the last 2 being at home, and he's just got me 1 goal, which I know people will say, well, you can't be expecting much, but his next 4 fixtures are Chelsea away, Everton home, Man United away, and Tottenham away. So I don't think I'm really going to stick with him for long, if I am at all. So he's on the shit list, and by scoring this week hasn't done enough really to take him off. The other one, to be honest, I kind of looked at this one and I feel it's really harsh. But
harsh, right? Well, what are you putting him on your shit list for, poor bugger? I mean, if he's listening to this podcast right now, what's he going to think about life?
I think he's got more things on his mind about this whole kind of issue about quarantine and the COVID situation, about whether he's going to play tomorrow or not. I mean, yeah, no, I think it is harsh, but if you think that's harsh, this one's even harsher. So I've substituted one Chelsea fullback for another. So let's just say Ben Chilwell, he was on the shit list. He's gone now, and the reason why he's gone is because I've sold him. But I brought in Reece James. And I'm sorry, Reece. Yeah. First of all, you never trust someone with 2 first names. So I'm sorry, Reece, but I just don't trust you, buddy. And the fact is that it doesn't matter whether you meant to do it or not. You've just given me an absolute stinker. You've affected, 2 other teammates in my team. Poor old Kai had to go off after 45, and Big Rom was just, well, he was the old Big Rom, wasn't he? So I blame you, Reece. Next time, just get your hand out of the way, let it go in, and stick with 11. So really, really harsh, but that's all I've got for my shit list. So I guess, I don't know. So Emi Buendia and Reece James are the 2 on my shit list. I haven't got any more. I can't really give you anything else. Lewis Dunk's probably borderline at the moment. And the 2 Arsenal guys, I've barely thought about them, because obviously I knew that I wouldn't be playing him against Chelsea or Man City. So they haven't, I haven't lost sleep over them. So State, come on, give me your magnificent list. 5 max. Come on.
5 max. Oh,
yeah.
First person on the shit list, Bruno Fernandes. What are you doing, son? Why are you not, you save all your fucking points for the first game week of the season against bloody shitty Leeds. I mean, God, anyone could have scored those points against Leeds. You could have, I'd rather you done it against Southampton and Wolves, come on. So Bruno Fernandes, you're on there. You're costing me £12 million, and I don't expect 3 points from my last 2 game weeks. that is not what £12 million is worth. If I wanted to sign a £12 million player to give me 3 points, I'd just waste it on someone absolutely crap who I knew were going to give me 3 points, not someone I expect better from. So sorry, Bruno, you're on there, pal. Step up your game is what I would say. I mean, you may not even make it into the team next week. Who knows what might happen? So, yeah, not good enough. Harvey Barnes, you're on there. I mean, it's not your fault. You got injured last season and everything, but you just not started this season, have you, for Leicester? I mean, I know Leicester have not had the 1-2 lost one, but you're not getting involved. You're not where you were at last year. Injury might be having an effect on that, struggling to come back, but you're on there, okay? Third person to go on my list, Heathy. You are on my list. You're on the shit list this week.
Come on.
Yes, you're on the shit list. My man Brownhill, that cost me. That hurt, all right? Because if he'd have been out and I'd have had Bamford in, I'd have made 54 points. I'd have at least hit the average for the week. And, well, that's what you sort of got to aim as a minimum, really, for in this competition, especially when you can only pick Northern players and you don't have, some South Korean lad who just scores points for you every week like a bloody numpty. But, so you're on there.
It's an honour.
Brownhill's not on there because it's not his fault. It was your fault, not his.
Maybe it's your fault. Maybe you need to work hard at these quizzes.
No. Definitely not. All your fault. All your fault. So that's 3. Is that 3? Yeah.
Yeah. I could be. I might be 1.5.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah, you definitely could. Yeah. Number 4 on the shit list, Pep Guardiola. Mahrez was my captain. In Pep Roulette, if they don't play 1 week, they're going to play the next week. Now, Mahrez didn't start against Norwich. He came on for the last 15 minutes, scored a goal. So he should have been starting against Arsenal, right? Wrong. Pep decided no. He decided, how can I screw over State this week in his fantasy team? Oh, hang on a minute. He's made Mahrez his captain, so I'm going to not put him on until there's about 25 minutes left. And by that time, game's done. I mean, he got an assist still, but yeah, 4 points. And for a fact, he's going to be starting this week, is Mahrez, and I'll probably got him out of my team by now. Yeah, well done, Pep. You are on the list already. 4 games in. So there you go. And then final person on my shit list is Mikel Antonio. Stop scoring points, please. I love him. Great. And if you don't have him in your side, you've got issues. I can't have him in my side. So I haven't got issues in that respect. But I do have issues with him because he's scoring a lot of points and it's not good for business for me. It's not good. I need him to stop scoring points. I don't want him to get injured because he's a lovely bloke. He's a great laugh. You listen to his post-match sort of comments and that, and he's good. He's a great guy, clearly. Move up north maybe. That'd be good. Go to a good club.
Go to Man City.
Everton. No,
get involved with Pep Roulette. You can't put Pep on the shit list. Everyone knows about this ridiculous Pep Roulette.
Of course I can still put him on it.
You're playing with fire. You basically got to get over it and basically bring in Ferran Torres and just get over it.
He probably was. Yeah, bring in Ferran Torres and what'll happen? It won't start for next 3 games.
That would be brilliant. How long is Pep going to be on your shit list for?
It could be a while. So, time will tell. I mean, yeah, the Ferran Torres thing's going to be. He's sort of playing him. He's playing Jesus. There's mixture, but you got to remember that ain't going to last for too much longer because De Bruyne's back training, Foden's back training. Then they've got all these superstars playing in there, so that it's going to sort of change. But Pep could be in there for a while until I get rid of all City players, barring Ruben Diaz, probably.
Or you basically kind of wake up, smell the roses, and put yourself on the shit list and realise that Pep's going to do what Pep does. You've got to make that decision.
I won't put myself on my own shit list. That's like just admitting that I'm wrong. I'm not going to do that. Why would I do that?
Join the shit list with me. We'll have fun. We have a good chat.
Sorry, you're on my shit list on your own, mate. No chance. Yeah, sorry about that. Not happening. So there's my shit list. I think I think it's a good list this week. Yeah, plenty of opportunity for players, managers, Heath to get off it. Heath, you only need to do one thing to get off my shit list. Just lose the next game week, then you're off it. Simple as that. Let's see if you really. Let's see how much you're a friend you are then, eh? Yeah.
I'm focused.
Yeah. So that's the end of the shit list for this week. Moves us on to our, we've done our sort of updates and everything. How's the league done this week, Heath? What's been going on in our league?
The North versus South FPL podcast mini league has kind of got a bit of a strangeness of it. We asked everyone to join it and asked if anyone wanted to be a Northern or just Southern team. And now we've got a great league full of fantastic people, but some of them have got Northern teams and some of them have got Southern teams and some of them are just a mix. So I feel like when we do our shout outs, we're going to kind of make sure that you're well aware that if you are just a Northern team or just a Southern team, there's going to be a little bit more credibility. But first of all, I will say number one in the table at the moment is 5 Deer, Summit Deer. He's currently got 248 points overall. I think he was top last week as well. Closely followed by Betty Swallocks FC, John Rogerson, who's on 246, and then expected to lose Jason By on 239. He looks like he had a good week, 73 last week. Then now we're looking at the actual North or South teams. I've got to say I'm doing all right myself. I've given myself a shout out. I'm taking myself off your shit list, and I'm going to say that I'm above one of my workmates by 10 points, and he's just got a normal team, so I'm quite happy with that. So after 72, I'm up to 200 points. I'm 7th in the league, but technically top of the North or South teams. And also just another disclaimer, there are some North and South teams who came in after game week 2, to be fair to them as well. We've also got Liam SH, you better check yourself, who got a really good 66, and Chris Harrigan with Doff Venture South, who also got 66. So it was the Southern teams who dominated this week, and the Northern teams were left to squander.
Yeah, because they're pure Southern teams, aren't they? You better check yourself.
That's right.
So King in the South as well, I believe. He's
Eddie Moore. Yeah, Eddie Moore. Yeah, he's what a ledge. What a ledge.
Yeah, and like you said, Doff Venture South, Southern teams. But then again, there's more Southern teams in our league than there's Northern teams. Have we got another Northern team in there? I think that's all. I think we do, And actually,
he's bottom of the league.
Take over here because he's bottom of the league, but who cares? He's got a Northern team and he's got a name. Ned Stark's my dad. What a name! So
that's Harrison Copley. Also, I'd like to just say that I've said Eddie's name wrong. It was Eddie Moran, not Eddie Moron. That's pretty harsh.
Depends on the type of team he picks, isn't it?
Well, it's a Southern team, so maybe you're calling him something different.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe. Yeah, but yeah, no. Obviously, massive appreciation, isn't it, for everyone who's entered the team, but also the ones who've actually bought into this and done a Southern and.
Yeah, we love it. We love it. I mean, it's great. State and I playing against each other week in, week out on a head-to-head, but to have this league as well, where we can actually look at other people with different ideas, is really, really good for us. And we're really, really appreciative that you guys have made the effort to do that. And I kind of look forward to next season where we can probably get we can probably do a bit better marketing next season before the season starts, so that some people don't miss out on a game week. But yeah, thank you very much, guys. And congratulations to Summit, who's currently top of the league. A couple of weeks ago, we started with our greatest ever FPL player debate / knockout. We called it It's a Knockout, or we could call it It's a Debate. We could call it whatever we want, really. But the fact is that we looked at it and we kind of said to ourselves, both State and I wanted to find out when FPL started, which players dominated, which players you would look at and go, I've got to have in my team. And the first week we had our kind of what you would say qualifiers to get into the quarterfinals with the smaller teams who haven't had as much history in the Premier League as others. And then this week we've got our Northern quarterfinals. And State, you are right on top of this. So, but if you want to give us your your fixtures and who actually played who, and who obviously give us the reasons why the team went out, the player went in and out.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, as he mentioned, this is a big thing. I think everyone out there will probably have a strong opinion on who they believe has been the greatest FPL player. Now, we're not talking greatest Premier League player throughout the years. We all know who that probably might be in our own opinions. John Walk, innit? From Ipswich.
Or Klaus Thompson.
Or Klaus Thompson. But no, it's about when the FPL actually, the Fantasy Premier League started as well. So we're not going back into the 90s because it wasn't running then, But we're going from, it was early 2000s. And yeah, that's what we're doing. So this week, so the draw for the quarterfinals, after obviously Burnley knocked out Leeds and Wolves knocked out Norwich in the preliminary rounds. Burnley's hopeful is Nick Pope, and Wolves was Jimenez, Jimenez beat Grant Holt of Norwich and Pope beat Stuart Dallas of Leeds. So that was the prelims, and it's made it for an exciting draw into the quarterfinals, which will lead into the semi. So the quarterfinal draw was made by a random computer. People might not believe me, but it was. Leicester City have drawn against Everton. Then Wolves versus Manchester United, Liverpool, Newcastle, and then Man City versus Burnley. So yeah, those are the ties for this week. I'm going to start with Man City Burnley this week, purely because it's a no-brainer at the end of the day. Nick Pope, great man to have, great goalkeeper to have over the years in the Fantasy League. We spoke about it last time. Got a lot of clean sheets for Burnley. They kept, he made saves even when he didn't keep clean sheets. He got bonus points, and he still does that to this day. Really, maybe not as many bonus points now as Heath mentioned in the episode the other week about more teams are playing out the back, and that had keepers who can pass the ball out of the back, completed passes, etc. Can help their bonus, get the bonus points as well. And Pope's not really known as a ball playing goalkeeper, but yeah. So Pope's in there. He's up against Sergio Aguero for Man City. People might say, "Oh, you could have had De Bruyne, you could have had maybe Yaya Toure or something," but let's be honest now. Sergio Aguero was the man at Man City for a number of years. Okay, he scored, 184 goals in the Premier League, the most by a player at one single club in the Premier League at the moment. Harry Kane will surpass that, I'm sure, pretty soon. But 184 goals for one side in the Premier League. No other Premier League player has done that. Okay? So Shearer didn't do it because he scored for Blackburn, he scored for Newcastle, Rooney scored for Man U, he scored for Everton, Andy Cole, Newcastle, Man United, and whoever else. But Sergio Aguero, 184 goals in the Premier League. What a man. And you just can't even argue a case for you, Nick Pope, just because Sergio Aguero is that good. He scored 20 plus goals in, he scored 20 plus goals in 6 seasons. Seasons when he didn't score 20 plus goals were probably mainly because he was injured. I mean, one season he scored 17 in 23. That's ridiculous. He scored 16 in 24 one season. Yeah, the last season for Man City was marred by injury. But Sergio Aguero, he beats Nick Pope, hands down. City legend, as City fans will agree, a Premier League legend. And this guy he's the real deal in fantasy football. If you've had him in your team over the years, you've been very lucky, and you've probably got some great points.
Can't disagree with that, buddy. The one thing I was going to say to you is Aguero is one of the only players who actually has a "where were you" kind of moment. So where were you when Aguero scored in that incredible game at the end of that season?
I was in a small village called Triangle, watching it on a couch, and yeah, it was a nuts moment. I had a few beers watching the final Sunday football. It was crazy though. I mean, just out of this world moment, and you don't forget moments like that. It's just, it's it's up there with some of the all-time great moments. I reckon that probably, I mean, Arsenal fans will disagree that it belongs in the same line with it probably, because they just will, but I think it's up there with like the Mickey Thomas goal, which Arsenal to beat Liverpool 2-0 at Anfield in the last minute. It's up there at that, isn't it? You know, that sort of thing. Yeah. Where were you?
Well, it's the reason why I kind of always remember it is actually because of FPL, because in my mini league, 2 of my mates were going for the title, and one of them had Aguero as captain, the other one didn't. And we obviously that it wasn't as advanced as it is now, so you didn't have like a real idea of how many points who was on what and all that, and the bonus points weren't as clear as they probably are now. But basically, what happened was we all played in a match, end of season match. It was kind of like one of our things, and when he scored, everyone went crazy. But my mate, who obviously had him as captain, went to another level. It was like, not only did he support City, but, you know, he was just like, you know, the biggest football fan of all time. He just went insane, ran around to the extent where it kind of made, you could see that some people felt a bit uncomfortable with his overreaction to a certain extent. But I'll never forget it. I think it was absolutely brilliant. And it's kind of really what football's all about.
But yeah, why we watch football, you know. So, and I mean, Aguero's caused me some pain, don't get me wrong. I once went to a Man City Newcastle game at the Etihad with one of my close mates, and me and him always have a fantasy league sort of competition against each other. And Aguero touched the ball about 6 times that game. Scored 4 or 5. He had him as triple captain that game.
Damn.
And I had to have a night out in Manchester with him, just reminding me about it every minute, because I took him out the previous week because he didn't score. Yeah, didn't even have him in the team. So, you know, so Aguero, don't get me wrong, you've annoyed me over time. You were on the shit list that week, I guarantee that. But yeah. So, but Sergio Aguero, Man City, you're through to the semi-finals. So yeah, great shout. Who will you play in the semi-finals? Well, it's between Liverpool and Newcastle. You know, the winner of them versus Man City, which could be a mouth-watering semi-final tie. And again, this isn't really going to be a close one. Newcastle, I must admit, right, I really struggled to think of a player for Newcastle. Shearer obviously played the early seasons, was still playing in the early seasons of Fantasy League, and you know, he still did all right. And I thought, yeah, Shearer probably is the best choice that they've got. I mean, Demba Ba did a couple of seasons. Papi Cisse, he played a few seasons, but didn't score that many points. And I was racking my brain on, like, you know, who you could do. I mean, thought about Colaccini just for his locks. You know, God, he could have been, you know, beautiful looking locks that man had. But yeah, I was really struggling to find who could be Newcastle's sort of fantasy league man. Andy Carroll didn't, you know, he didn't, as soon as he did well at Newcastle, he left. So real struggle I've had there, to be fair, to pick a Newcastle player. I did choose Shearer, to be fair, just purely probably a bit more on the fact that he's Alan Shearer as well. I believe Shearer always has a fantasy league team as well. That'd be great if we could get you on here, Alan, if you ever listen. But, you know, Shearer, I mean, if Shearer had been playing in the noughties, this would have been an absolute belter of a contest between him and Liverpool's Mo Salah, who is Liverpool's choice. I could have picked loads from Liverpool. Suarez, you know, how great was he for those few seasons he were with him? You know, he was brilliant. You know, Gerrard, I mean, Gerrard's Gerrard, but he's probably not, he's not like a big fantasy league sort of points machine getter. You know, you don't pick him, but Mo Salah, he gets you points. If you look at his stats since he's been back in the Premier League with Liverpool, it's ridiculous. You know, the man's just got it all, and he's been smashing points in for the last number of years. So you can't really go any. I can't see anyone past Mo Salah as a pick to represent Liverpool as the greatest FPL player for them. And you know, his stats back that up quite easily. He's not scored under 200 points since being back in the Premier League. So the last 4 seasons, he's been over 200 points. He even got over 300 points in one season, which is just ridiculous. So Mo Salah represents Liverpool. and Mo Salah wins for Liverpool. Shearer was coming to the end of his career. Like I said, if he wasn't and he was in prime, I reckon it would have been a belting of a contest because Shearer would have got some, plenty of points himself. But I think now, Salah's got to take the win.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And, I did struggle to find someone beyond Shearer in Newcastle.
The one thing I would say is I disagree about Gerrard. I think Gerrard was definitely a player at one point where you had a handful of players you could say I could set and forget a captain, and Gerrard was just slightly, the whole Lampard-Gerrard debate. In FPL, Lampard won, but Gerrard wasn't far behind. You could set and forget either of them as captain, depending on their fixtures. But yeah, the other one was, actually Mane's another good shout, but he doesn't come close because Salah's been incredible. But the other one is Trent. I mean, if Salah was to leave and Trent continues, I mean, that guy for a fullback was scoring monster points a couple of years ago. And, if it hadn't been for Van Dijk's injury, probably would have scored, another monster score last season. Still did all right. And this season is already, started the season well. So I do think he's another one that could push Salah. But Salah, yeah, I mean, there's that's no one comes close to him. Even, like you say, Suarez is incredible. But Salah, like you say, got 300 plus points, which is unheard of.
Yeah, no one does that. And yeah, I know he's saying with Trent, but at the same time, Salah still scores more points than him. So it costs more money, yeah, but does the job. And Trent, he still should have done better last year. Even with Van Dijk out, that shouldn't affect you that as much as it did. Not happy with that. Not buying that. But he's back this year, Trent, and I mean, 7.3 million, I believe he is now, or something, or 7.5. So yeah, he's got his cost, his pricey, but he's going to get you plenty of points this season if you have spent that money on him. It's not money wasted. So yeah, so Liverpool will go to face Man City in the semi-final. Salah versus Aguero. That is going to be one cracking debate in my next round. I'll tell you that now.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah, going to be a tough one. Gonna get some criticism. So then we go on to the top half of the draw. So I've started at the bottom half of the draw, top half of the draw. So we've got Wolves versus Man United next. Again, this is probably a pretty simple decision. Wolves, there's main man is Jimenez, who has, undoubtedly been their main man when it comes to scoring points in fantasy league since his time with Wolves. Which is pretty much mirrored when they've got back into the league. He scored 181 points in his first season, 194 in the second season. Last season, he started going, then he got that horrific injury, as we mentioned last time, and, which put a spanner in the works for the poor guy. And, I really hope he rediscovers that form he got, because that form was going to buy him and move to a, top club, whether it be in England or Europe, that's for sure. He's a very good player, works hard for you, great grafting. He's got an eye for the goal, and I think, yeah, it'd be great to see him rediscover that form. And Wolves need him to be fair now, because they've been great in games of Wolves. They've lost 1-0 in all three games they've played this season, haven't they? And they've been probably the better team in all three of those games pretty much as well, but they don't seem to be able to get the goal in. But they're not getting spanked by anyone because they've been playing better than most teams. But yeah, hopefully Jimenez comes back. He ain't got a chance in this game though. CR7 is back, and to be fair, again, United, there was plenty of options there, Rooney, obviously, Ronaldo, Van Persie's few years with United were fantastic as well. Bruno Fernandes in the short time he's been there. But, you can't look past this man because it's Cristiano Ronaldo and he's just that good. And, in the 3 full seasons like he had with the Premier League before, he's 2006, 2007, he got 17 goals, 16 assists.
Unbelievable.
2007, 2008, 31 goals, 7 assists. 2008, 2009, 18 goals, 6 assists. So, again, you can't argue with those stats. You know, he got close to 300 points in one of those seasons, and I think will he be able to do all that again? Who knows? Probably not quite, maybe to that level, but he was an FPL dream for anyone in those seasons. You know, definitely.
100%, mate. A set and forget easily. I'll never forget one of the best performances I've ever seen against Watford, FA Cup semi-final. Man United battered us 4-1. To be honest, I think we're quite happy with 4-1 because they were incredible. They had Rooney on one side, Ronaldo on the other, and they were just so quick and so they were on a different planet to Watford. It was unbelievable. And Ronaldo in those seasons, it was a joy to have him. The only thing was it made it too easy to a certain extent because you could just like stick the captaincy on him. Those were before, I think at the time they didn't have vice captaincy at one point, and you just put the captaincy on him, and that was it. And if you knew he was going to play every minute of every game, and he's normally going to score really.
Yeah.
So unbelievable player. To be honest, in a way I hope he has lost it a little bit, but now that he's the age he's at, because I just think that if he's really good again, again that could ruin FPL this season, where you could again just keep the captaincy on him. Obviously, I can't. So again, hopefully he does really shit.
Yeah, definitely. Fingers crossed from you, but hopefully I'm sure he'll bag goals. He bags goals everywhere he goes, doesn't he? So yeah. So Ronaldo beats Jimenez, sends Man United to the semi-finals, or sends Ronaldo to the semi-finals, basically. So because it's players we're looking for, not clubs. So Leicester City and Everton. This is the mouth-watering tie when you look at the players that I've gone for these two clubs. You'll have a big say in this one, Heath, to be fair, because one of them's a key player in your side now for the Fantasy League, and that's Big Rom. Rom.
Yeah, what a legend.
Obviously, his time at Everton, and obviously a few seasons at Man U as well. But his time at Everton, he was Everton's talisman. He was the reason. They weren't a great team, but he made them very strong. He was a quality player there. The old big fish in the little pond sort of scenario was mentioned, flown around with him, which I think was a bit harsh. What he did for Everton in those seasons, he was there. He was on loan for a couple before they bought him. But that final season, he was at Everton. He scored 25 goals, and before he got his big move to United. The season before that, he got 18. He chipped in with assists as well. So, Big Rom scored points for Everton, and he was a big player, and he's strong, can finish. He's got pace as well. He's not exactly he's no slouch. So Big Rom is the Everton representative, and somebody who I think is definitely sort of you'd be looking up there as one of the the strong FPL players of the game. The other player from Leicester is the remaining team, so I had to find a Leicester player. Now, to be fair, I mean, if you're looking at fantasy football points, there was only really two players you could choose from. One of them being Riyad Mahrez when he was obviously at Leicester. It was huge the season they won the league, and he scored a boatload of points. He scored 240 points that season, I think, 17 goals, 11 assists, which came from nowhere since the season before. He scored 4 goals, 5 assists, and then all of a sudden, bang! He just went. He was just ridiculous. And he's been regularly getting goals and that for City since then. So Mahrez was one of the options, and the other option. Well, this lad played for Halifax Town, and I'm from that neck of the woods, West Yorkshire. So there ain't no party like a Jamie Vardy party. And that is the man. This is a fairy tale, man. This is what he's done.
He's going to have a film, isn't he?
Definitely. And he blooming well deserves it, the man. I mean, you're talking about someone who's come from the lower leagues all the way up, played in every division, and not just played in every division, he's won things, and he's went and won the Premier League with Leicester City. I mean, Jamie Vardy, he just never ceases to amaze you, does he really? you always think, same he's done, but he just always turns up and keeps doing more. And then, defenders here playing against him. He's annoying. He's fast though. He runs the channels. He'll work hard, and he can finish as well. It's Jamie Vardy's had a fantastic career. I mean, he's the season before Leicester won the league, where they just about stayed up. He only scored 5 goals, but he got 12 assists that season. So for a striker, he's obviously working his socks off, getting things happening and helping them stay up. And then things just went crazy beyond that. He scored 24 goals. He scored in how many consecutive games was it? Did he break the record? Or
something like 11. Was it 11 or 12 or something?
Yeah, exactly. And he did that, and and he's scored over 20 goals in 3 seasons, and the other ones he scored 13, 15, 18. So he's there in the goals all the time. Last season he only scored 15 goals, but he got 14 assists still. So great work. And he's not exactly a spring chicken, is the man. He's in the last stages of his career, but his hammies haven't gone. He's still able to do what he does best. God, if he had Michael Owen's injury problems, God, he'd have been finished years ago with Vardy. But look how he's done it. Brilliant. So Vardy versus Lukaku, it's a tough one. I mean, I would say, and I think a lot of people will probably agree with me, that I think Vardy has to go through as one of the great FPL players, because I think people think Lukaku's maybe underachieved for his time at Man United, maybe. And hopefully, I love Lukaku. I think he's a great player, but I think I don't think anyone could begrudge saying Vardy's been an absolute worldie of a FPL player for somebody. Because he's never been at the 12, 13 millions like those big players. He's not seen at that sort of value. In that season they won the league and he scored 24 goals. He started that season at 6 million.
That's the, and again, another FPL story to tell is when it's with someone who's a ridiculous bargain like Vardy and Mahrez were that season, but I think Kane and Dele Alli, and there's been Andy Carroll, other people who have come in very, very cheap and you've got them early. But Vardy was just incredible. I think I have to agree. I don't know. Lukaku at Everton, he was brilliant. But the fact is that I don't think he really scored I think Lukaku, if Everton were playing at home, I would put him in, as captain, maybe. But when Vardy was playing for Leicester when they were at their best, I mean, you kind of had to captain him. So I love Rom. I think he's brilliant. And it's a real shame there's not going to be the old Big Rom versus Big Ron in the semi-finals for you. But here's what it is. I'll probably go with Vardy too, to be fair. Yeah.
No, Vardy makes it through to the semi-finals for me. And he's definitely an FPL legend.
That's that Leicester Everton game that's always going to be BBC FA Cup televised game, the one for the purists, not the one that just sells out because it's one of the bigger teams. But good work, buddy. That's really, really good. I like that a lot. And do you know what? I love the fact that I'm so confident on the Southern side, but we've got that to come next week. The Southern quarterfinals. You'll be able to nitpick at that and work out in your mind if you really genuinely think you got a chance of winning it from your side.
loving the arrogance, but loving the arrogance, but we'll see. Obviously, North versus South, it's knockout. Will continue in the next week's episode where Heath will do his quarterfinals. So brilliant. We're on to the game week preview. Crikey, getting through this. Good stuff. Just time's going. But so on to the game week preview this week. So we're on to obviously this week's game week. Game week 4 will start. You got to get your teams in by 11 o'clock on Saturday. So before the big early game between Heath's favourite team, Crystal Palace, and Tottenham Hotspur. So, Heath, tell us about your game week preview. Come on, what preview? Yeah, what are you going to do? What's happening?
Okay. So, it was quite hard to talk about the review without kind of giving away what I'm doing this week. And you know, I'm sure we got a smart audience out there. You probably worked out what
wild card.
What State and I were hinting at. Basically, we both played the wild card. I mean, I personally think that I needed to for a good reason. We'll get to that. But I now, with certain transfers happening for State, I understand now why he would have had to as well. But I'll quickly run through my team, and I am not sticking by this. This is not locked and loaded and ready to go. This is I'm probably going to mess around with this tomorrow when I go.
He's lying to you, listeners. He's lying to you.
No,
do not support this man. No, he's telling you lies.
I would never do that to my loyal audience. No, the fact is that my poor fiance is going to have to accept the fact that when we're going around house viewings tomorrow, I'm probably going to have this green screen in my face, checking out to see whether, you know, who starts for who and whether this guy made it through this or whatever. But anyway, yeah, I'll start with the goalkeepers. I've gone very cheap, and I know I'm going to kick myself, but it's worked out the way it has. So I've gone with Ben Foster. I'm not going to lie. I think he's fantastic. I love his videos. The Fozcast is great if you haven't listened to it already on YouTube and
try getting on here. We should try.
Honestly, the guy is an absolute legend, and obviously he's got his stuff with Watford. But I honestly think if he was playing for another team, I'd think he's just as good. But I've got David. So he's actually injured at the moment, Ben Foster. So I'm kind of hoping that Backman carries on making mistakes like he's doing against Spurs, and Foster comes through his injury and takes over the number one spot. But if he doesn't, it doesn't. But I've got David Raya in goal for Brentford, who's going to be my number one. I think Brentford are a good team, and I do think they'll keep clean sheets. I just don't know how many. And they've started out solid, but I think he could be an absolute bargain. It was either him or the Brighton goalkeeper, but I just don't have that 0.5 to be able to go to Sanchez as my backup goalkeeper. So just because of the podcast, you know, community, I'm going to stick with Foster on my bench. Now we go on to my defenders. I've got Kieran Tierney. I'm still sticking with the Arsenal. I don't know why, but their fixtures look so enticing. It's unbelievable. I think
they're playing Norwich next. So,
bottom of the league clash between Arsenal and Norwich. And I'll be honest, I always do this. I get sucked in by Arsenal, and then I end up kind of regretting it. But we'll see. Kieran Tierney at 4.9 is an absolute steal for me personally. I can't feel like I have to go for him. Then I've got Antonio Rudiger. Again, I'm probably dancing with the devil slightly with Tuchel's rotation scheme at Chelsea. Rudiger could be dropped, but I think at the end of last season he played quite a lot of games for Chelsea.
I reckon the one thing Tuchel seems to not do is he doesn't rotate his defence too much in terms of the centre halves if he can help it. The wing backs maybe a bit more, but I think centre halves he seems pretty set on Rudiger. I think Christensen, and then Aspilicueta. I mean, the difference is going to be Thiago Silva comes back.
That's the one, yeah.
And then who does he drop out from there? I think it's Christensen probably. First, and then unless someone else is having a mare, so that's why
I agree with you at that. And Christensen is 0.5 cheaper, but I think I'm going to stick with Rudiger. Like I say, I think looking at when Tuchel came in at the end of last season, I think he played majority of the games. One guy that definitely isn't moving for my team is Sergio Reguilon, who's, like I say, been a star, my main man at the moment. He's got a nice fixture against Crystal Palace away this week. Yeah, I'm hoping that they can get the 3 points and carry on this really good run. Then, I mean, my two bench defenders, one of them is Vladimir Soufal at West Ham. I just think he's got one assist so far, but I think he's actually underperformed so far points wise. I just think he's such a lively defender. So it's 5 million.
West Ham aren't keeping clean sheets either.
Not at the moment, but he just always seems to be in the box for a right back. It's brilliant. That's what you want to see. It's like Trent. To be fair, he's like a poor man's Trent. It's like a Southern Trent or something. But he's just in unusual positions, and it's exciting. That's where you want your players. And I'm hoping this next guy might be the same. So it's Mark Cucurella at Brighton. I've done a bit of research on him, and he's like an attacking wing back / midfielder who, he gets forward and he's looks like he's going to solve a problem that Brighton have had, I believe, at left back for a while now, where they've been playing a solid march. So he's going to come in. Brighton have got some decent fixtures, but I might regret not picking Lewis Dunk, but because he does score goals. But it's Cucurella. I like his potential, and I think I don't mind him having a slow start, because I think I've got quite a lot of players who are playing regularly for their teams anyway and have got good fixtures, so I can give him a little bit of time. So he's in as well, and they've got Brentford away this weekend. Now, moving on to midfield, I'll go straight to my bench and then I'll move on to the actual starters. So I've got this guy. I mean, what an absolute bargain. Moussa Sissoko, just signed from Spurs. He got 1 point for Watford, but
Sissoko, I like him as a footballer. He's energetic. He can get up and down and everything. But let's be honest, he's your two, maybe 3 point a game player.
Yeah, but I do think that he will be an important player.
It'd be good for Watford.
Yeah, it will, exactly. And I do think that I think that there will be times where they'll push him further forward.
Yeah.
Just because, he has probably got more quality than we have the rest of our midfield. He's very, it's a very interesting signing. I know he's 32, but Etienne Capoue came along and he was very, kind of, I guess, raw from his time at Tottenham. And
bit of a Decora type player, isn't he? Sissoko,
like box to box, yeah.
Yeah. Got a little bit of quality behind him.
They're probably Tottenham fans out there, or actually all sorts of football fans out there right now listening and kind of shouting at me saying that the guy can't shoot. But 4.5 million, I'm not asking him to shoot. I'm just asking him to get 2 points and anything else a bonus. So he's my third sub. After all that big talk, he's my third sub this week. Even Cucurella goes in at second sub. But I've going to my starting midfield and strikers. I've got Mason Mount, who I've kind of cut my ties with Kai Havertz because I don't trust him. I'm not saying he's not had a good start to the season. I'm not saying he's had a bad start, but I'm just don't trust him. But I do.
Very much like you said that.
No, but I do trust Mason Mount. I do think this guy is someone that if you're picking your normal team and you're boring, you bring in Mason Mount. He just goes about his business, gets on with things, gets goals and assists.
So you're being boring then?
Well, unfortunately, I haven't got a huge amount to go with when it comes to Southern players. So I've had to be boring. And I do think that he's a player that not many people are going to have. And so it could be quite a decent differential if I'm competing with other teams away from this North-South in the actual league itself.
By 17.3% of the teams.
Yeah, I mean that's probably more than I was expecting, but
and not a player a lot of people have. Come on, Kai Havertz was a player not a lot of people have. He's only got 6%. You just lost your differentiator there. Well done. Good play.
Well, but he's more money, Kai Havertz, and is he going to play every week? Mason Mount's going to play every week, so I'm sticking with that. Now, controversial pick, and again, I've got a couple of controversial picks coming up. I've gone with Martin Odegaard at Arsenal. They have got Norwich at home. Now, I don't think he did enough for me last season for me to think I've got to get him on my team. He got 1 goal and 2 assists last season, but I'm hoping that the 5.5 price tag that he's got on him is going to be enough for me to kind of think, well, he could do something. I can't afford Pepe, and I don't really necessarily want Saka at the moment because he started the season quite slowly. Odegaard is a very, very good player. I just think that, is he going to turn it into FPL points or is he going to be an assister? Well, we'll find out. I guess this week could be a really good opportunity to find out. Arsenal got some great fixtures.
I like that pick. I'm not going to big you up very often in this podcast, as you know, but I like Odegaard as a pick. I think he's a very good footballer. He showed some good glimpses last season. I mean, he got 40 points in just 860 minutes last season from looking at the stats right now. And, so, it was probably, if he'd have played a full season, he was looking 120, 130 points, which for, 5.5 million player, you'll take that any day of the week.
Yeah, I think he's obviously quality, but we'll see how we go. And I'm not gonna hold my breath for him, really.
Good on the eye type of player, yeah.
That's exactly what I was thinking, yeah. And controversial pick number 2, going from one North London team to another North London team is Dele Alli. Now, I'll be totally honest with you, I've got plenty of money in the bank because I've just seen that, well, not just seen, I saw earlier that Son is a major doubt for the Palace game.
Woohoo, yes.
Yeah. So
get in there, sonny boy. I kind of take a rest, pal. You earned it.
I've basically kind of said to myself, it's Crystal Palace. I think Spurs got quite a good record against Crystal Palace. I think they normally do all right against them. So I'm going to give Ali a chance.
That goal he scored at Palace.
It's a great goal. They had a moment. I've got a few mates who are Palace fans, and Palace actually were one of those teams that conceded all the goals of the season against them at that point. And Dele Alli's goal was just one of the best goals you're ever going to see.
The goal with that Fulham lad, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was another one. Kasami, yeah, he scored against Palace as well. But yeah, he's in there at the moment only because Son is injured. So as soon as Son is fit, he's going back in there. I've got 3.8 million in the bank so that I can kind of afford him. Which then kind of goes against what I was saying earlier about not being able to afford a 4.5 million. But I do think that I want to wait and see with Son. I basically want to bring him back as soon as possible because he is essential for me, really. And another essential player is Ben Rama at West Ham. Started the season. Ben Rama started the season so well. Had a bit of a quiet game against Crystal Palace. Didn't get any goals or assists, but he got a goal and assist in the other 2 games. When West Ham scored 4 in both games, the guy started off the season very, very well. Absolute bargain again. And I'm hoping that he'll be able to do well against Southampton away this weekend, which then leads me nicely to my forward line. You could probably work out exactly who my strikers are right now. Mikel Antonio, stats say everything. 4 goals, 4 assists, no brainer. I can't even think. I was having like a moment where I was thinking to myself, maybe I might bring Aubameyang in. But I can't justify that. No.
Do it.
So Antonio's my vice captain at the moment. And then you're going to go, oh, so who's his captain? Well, I'll leave him till last.
No, I'm not going to say who at all.
So after last week's quiz, my find was that Big Rom couldn't be my captain. So I did see he had a thigh injury, or he was a doubt for this week. So I was thinking, I was thinking that works nicely in my favour. But with Villa at home, I think that I'll be very, very surprised if Chelsea don't win that game. So Lukaku is in, but he can't be my captain. So my captain is Harry Kane, and that he is actually probably one of the major reasons why I made my wild card, because I just felt like I had to have him and Lukaku, Antonio up front, and the rest. I mean, it's a really good team on paper, apart from maybe my dodgy North London centre midfielders. But apart from that, it's such a good team. I'm really, really happy with it. And maybe my goalkeepers. But yeah, so
such a great team.
Yeah, so I'm going, like I say, so I'm going 3-4-3. Raya, Tierney, Rudiger, Reguilon, Mount, Odegaard, Dele Alli, Ben Rama, Kane, captain, Lukaku, Antonio, vice captain. That's my team.
Played my wild card as well, Heath. Absolutely done. What? And it's I mean, the Ronaldo factor's played a big factor in that. Needed to get him in. To be fair, Bruno's 12 million, and he's not been performing, so I've just had to bite the bullet with him, to be fair, and look at things elsewhere now. I mean, I could have done something to have Salah, Ronaldo, and Bruno in. I mean, tomorrow morning, I may still think that and just get all 3 of them in there. It'll damage other areas, but I could abide by that. But But yeah, so what I've got, so my two keepers are Kasper Schmeichel, and I brought in Scott Carson. Now, anyone who listens to what's going on out there at the moment will think, actually, this kid knows what he's on about here, because Scott Carson is likely to play tomorrow because the Brazilians have been told that they're not allowed to play. Now, so he could be playing for Man City in goal, away at Leicester. Who knows? Could keep a clean sheet, get me 6 points, save a penalty maybe, who knows? If he doesn't play, that's fine, because my sub-keeper is Kasper Schmeichel. Yeah, it's not great against City, but he'll definitely be playing. So there you go. Leicester have a decent record against City generally, so it could work either way. So I'm going to start with Carson in goal. But with the thing is, if he don't play and Ederson's allowed to play at the last minute, then Schmeichel will just go in. So that's fine. And I'm thinking Schmeichel's long-term going to be my keeper. Leicester get this game out of the way. They've then got a great 3 games coming up: Brighton, Burnley, Palace. So, Schmeichel's going to be my number one for, a good while, to be honest with you. So, yeah, that'll be that case. Defenders, got Ruben Diaz, Man City. That goes without saying. There doesn't need to be any debate or discussion about that. Mr. Rafael Varane for Manchester United as well. He's played 1 game. He got 12 points in that 1 game. He got an assist and 3 bonus points and a clean sheet. And United as well have got an all right run coming up. So I think, again, good business. Conor Cody's playing. They're playing at Watford. Wolves are going to get their first win of the season at Watford this weekend.
Plenty of pressure on them.
Yeah, there's plenty of pressure on Watford as well. Game that they should be winning, they'll be thinking at home. But I think Wolves will start in the target. If not, they'll keep a clean sheet against Watford. So I mean, if Watford's number 1 fan, Heath, doesn't even have supposedly their star man Ismaila Sarr in his own fantasy team, then he obviously hasn't got that much faith in him. So to pull out roots for him. So
just don't want to jinx him.
Yeah. Just think of that. What I will. I'll just leave that information with all.
I just don't want to dominate you. That's the problem. I don't want to smash you so that you kind of say to me, I've done it with this podcast. I can't do it anymore. I keep losing to your Southern team. So I think I'll give you. I'll take it easy on you.
I think if you'd have told me that, I wouldn't have said that. I feel really, really bad about it now. I really do. So they're my back 3, playing 3 at the back at the moment. It could change to 4, who knows? Midfield 4, I brought in Mason Greenwood. Now people are going to think, oh, why are you doing that? Because they've got Ronaldo in. Mason Greenwood's still very likely to be starting games. He'll just play one of the wide positions, if Ronaldo starts. But I think Greenwood will still start this weekend up the middle. I think Ronaldo's probably going to come off the bench. That's my thoughts. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said you will see Ronaldo on the pitch at some point in the game, which I'm pretty sure we will. But I don't think he'll start him. I think he'll keep Greenwood up top for now, and Ronaldo will come on. That's what I think. Demarai Gray from Everton, he's in there. He's had a great start to the season under Everton and under Rafa. So definitely. You mentioned this guy before, Ferran Torres. He's in my side. He's in my squad. He's this is a Pep roulette gamble, but nice. I think for now he's not worth having in. He's worth having in there because for the price he is, and if he plays up top, he scores points. City score goals, so he'll do that. If he doesn't play, I've got 7 million that I could get rid of and bring in someone cheaper, and it frees up money elsewhere. Is what I've been thinking. So yeah, Torres in there. Then the big man, Mo Salah, he's in there. Obviously, he's not going anywhere all season unless he breaks his leg. To be fair, so he'll stay there, and he is the captain this week. He's the captain, and he enjoys playing against Leeds, and I think it could be a goal fest at Leeds Ellen Road this weekend. Both teams will get goals probably. Could be a belter. So Mo's going to be there, and he's going to score me some points this week, which then takes me to the top 3, the front 3. Patrick Bamford's in after previous game's goal, and me losing a bit of faith with him, but he's going to in. I know they're playing Liverpool, but let's have him in there. Richarlison. Now, he's probably one of the few Brazilians who might be allowed to play, and Rafa Benitez talked about this earlier, saying how their relationship with the Brazilian Federation is really good because they actually allowed Richarlison to go play in the Olympics, which they won. So he's probably got a good point there, Rafa. He's a smart man. He talks about facts, as everyone knows. Mm-hmm. So Richarlison is in my side still. And, you know, they're at home at Burnley. So if the Brazilian Federation let him play, then I fancy him to do some business there. And then, of course, he's in the squad, in the side, in the starting 11. You can't not have him in there. Even if I think he's only going to come off the bench, he could still come off the bench against Newcastle and score 2 or 3 goals, flex his muscles, and then get brought off with 2 minutes to go with a standing ovation, and does that in the space of 20 minutes. So it's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's been put in by 23.5% of the teams in this game. That's a lot. So yeah.
Did he stick his walking stick there with him as well?
I didn't have to, Heath, you know, because he didn't need one. He told me to pass it on to you though. So he said you can use it after your long walks in the lakes. He said you might need it for a few years. So yeah. So yeah, Ronaldo's in there, and stop being bitter, all right? So, you know, so that leaves on the bench, like I said, Kasper Schmeichel's the sub-keeper. I've got Joel Matip at Liverpool. I'm tempted to bring him in because, you know, Liverpool have been, you know, pretty good this season. 2 clean sheets. They obviously conceded against Chelsea, but you know, that's not disappointing. And, you know, they're doing all right. So I think Matip could end up coming in for maybe. Well, he's going to be my first sub. So if Torres doesn't play at all, then Matip could come in that way. Who knows? But Torres has started every game for City in the Premier League this year, so maybe that won't change. I've got Alan at Everton. He's in there because he's cheap, basically, but he will play every game. And for 4.5 million, he's like a Sissoko sort of pick, isn't he? Really, he's Alan. You know, really good player. Not going to get you loads of points. He might get the odd assist here, but he don't really score goals. So yeah, there's him, and then Tsimikas, Liverpool's backup fullback. He's been unlucky, you know. He got dropped for the Chelsea game after 2 great performances, but Robertson's back and Trent's there. He's not going to start in front of them, but I still think he'll get game time this year. So he's, you know, for the value he costs, he's not a bad person to have for like 4 million in your squad. If you need to get a 4 million player in there who don't really need to do much for you. So yeah, that's it. I think I'm pretty much nailed on with this. I don't see me making any late transfers unless I drink too much tonight and decide it's a clever idea, but I'm going to try not to do that.
Now, I'm going to probably regret this next week when we have our next podcast and you smash me because of all this advice I'm going to give you. But, mate, your wildcard is a stinker. I don't want to insult you, mate, but you've got like your Liverpool players are all like, why you don't want to waste your, you know, picks with Tsimikas and Matip. You want to have Diego Jota or even Trent or even Van Dijk. You even Alisson. You know, obviously Salah goes without saying, but Jota with Firmino out injured, mate, that's a no-brainer. All right. Then, oh mate, Scott Carson. I like the sentimental kind of idea that he's some 40-year-old guy who's going in goal for 1 week, but he's only going to be there for 1 week. You're wasting a Man City pick on him, and they're playing Leicester, a team that like you say have got a good record against City. So get like another 4.0 player in, and then you could pick another Man City player if Phil Foden or De Bruyne or you know Cancelo start doing well. You've got that free space.
I'm not going to go for a City player with Pep Roulette at this rate. You don't know who's going to play. You don't know what the man's thinking.
True, but at least you got the option. Why waste it on Scott Carson? I mean, like I say, it's just bring in like a Norwich goalkeeper who's third choice or something. And the other one is Richarlison over Calvert-Lewin. Surely go Calvert-Lewin. He's taking penalties. I don't know how much more he is, but he's going to score more goals, surely.
Calvert-Lewin might do, but he's also
Richarlison's probably a better player, but
he's not Calvert-Lewin. He's not fully fit as Calvert-Lewin now.
Maybe. That's fair enough.
And they brought Rondon in to help loosen that burden. Whereas Richarlison, he could play up the middle, but if he doesn't play up the middle, he's always playing out as one of the wide three.
Richarlison is a great football player. Don't get me wrong, but
you just don't like him.
Calvert-Lewin is their talisman. Like, honestly, I'm so glad you mentioned that earlier. Talisman theory is so essential in fantasy football, and he is a perfect example of one manager going, what have we got? And going, let's try and cater for that. And they've got a very good guy up front who can, who's very good in the air. Poacher / target man, and Calvert-Lewin will basically, and then fair enough if you're not bringing him in this week because he's a doubt, but I wouldn't be surprised if he starts, to be honest. But mate, honestly, like, and even the Varane over Shaw. Varane had a great first week. Don't get me wrong, he's a great football player, but Shaw's going to get forward, surely.
Shaw, right? No, I'll tell you what, Luke Shaw, yeah, he got 124 points last season, 1 goal, 5 assists.
Yeah, but he's one of those players, good on the eye, I guess, where you're watching anything, he gets forward.
Varane, every time United keep a clean sheet now, Varane's probably going to get a bonus point.
Maybe.
Because he's been bought for big money. He's a big time player. Everyone's going to be focusing on him, how good he is and everything. And he'll get bonus points from just fucking standing there and not doing anything some of the games. That's what Varane will do.
Actually, I've got one more and then I'll stop, right? And this is the most important one. Alan, fair enough. I get it. No Brownhill. What the hell? Come on. Bring back Brownhill. That's what everyone's going to be saying after this podcast. Bring back Brownhill.
Yeah, I apologise to my Burnley fans, for if I've upset them with this move, but unfortunately, no, that's just not going to happen. I take on board maybe your point, and maybe I might look at that later, tonight or tomorrow morning. But he's on there in my mind. I was torn between, like, do I put him in? Do I put Greenwood in? Can I do both? But then, what do I do? So it's, I don't know how long Firmino's out for, and then do I want a 7.6 million yacht sitting on my bench half the season? So it's a bit of a tough one now.
Fair enough, buddy. I don't want you to think that I'm getting in your head, because maybe I'm feeding all that just so that I can overcomplicate things. And
maybe you're not. Who knows?
But no, it's just great, because obviously, as I can only pick Southern players, and I hear all these Northern players who won't be making the cut. Trent. Oh,
he's 7.5 million. He's a lot.
Rafinha. What about Rafinha?
Well, fuck.
He's like, honestly, that guy is a player that can play against anyone. I don't care. He is fixture proof. For me, he's fixture proof.
He's good on the eye, but Stuart Dallas got 171 points last season. Jack Harrison got 160 points last season. Rafinha might have been a better player, but he wasn't a better scorer of points in the season. Dan James might be someone to look at. Who knows?
Maybe.
Must admit, Leeds players are on my sort of list for my 1 week transfers, because after this Liverpool game, they've got a run of games where they could really sort of start doing bits. They've got Newcastle, West Ham's tough, obviously, but Watford, Newcastle, Southampton, Wolves, Norwich. So they've got a good run of games coming up. So there are Leeds players that I'm looking into. That's for sure.
Well, all right, mate. I'm going to leave you there, and all I'm going to say is, if I don't see Brownhill tomorrow, when I check the teams around 12, half 12, and I don't see Josh Brownhill or Marcus Brownhill, whatever Brownhill you want to call him, I'll be a tear in my eye. I'm not going to lie, but it is what it is.
he had his moment in the sun. He played in my All-Star 11, and fair play to him. He got a yellow card and 1 point.
I just hope he knows that he's made the grade, and he was one of our, one of the titles of our podcast, one of the early ones. So
yeah,
I'll be an NFT one day. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it'll make him a lot of money. Maybe. All right. Well. Yeah. All right. Lovely stuff. That's going to be the probably the longest game week preview we're going to have until the second half of the season, because we've both done the wild cards. But yeah, lovely stuff, mate. And now that leads us into our quiz, which is a new quiz. We've been trying to do original quizzes each week, and this week is no different. This week we're going to look at the players that have transferred from a northern team or a southern team to the other. So from north to south or south to north. And what I'm going to do to State is I'm going to say to him the club that they came from, the club they went to, and the value. And just be aware some of these are undisclosed. I wasn't able to get to the club and find out the amount. These were taken from the BBC website. So, anyone who disagrees with them, fair enough. I don't care. So what I'll do is normally when we have these quizzes, if one of us fails miserably or, is very successful, it leads to a fine to the other person. So State, I'm going to say to you, you've got 10 different transfers. I'm going to give you a chance to set your limit. So how confident are you with transfers? Is it
just for this season, or is it over...
in the summer? In the summer, yeah, this summer,
yeah. And it's all Premier League transfers, yeah.
All Premier League transfers.
And I'm guessing not all from Premier League club to Premier League, or are they?
Yeah, no, that's it. That's the stipulation here. They've all gone from a northern or a southern team to a northern or a southern team. So they've gone over the divide.
I'm pretty confident. So you say there's 10, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to commit to 7, which is probably safe, but I'm going with 7.
You sure?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm not going to lie. I was kind of thinking that the way you are normally as a person, very confident person, normally I was expecting to go 8, but fair enough. If you want to go 7, go 7.
Okay. I see what you're trying to do here. You're trying to goad me into 8 because you're pretty sure that I'm probably going to get 7, but you don't know if I'll get 8. So I'm going to stick with my 7 and not fall for that game plan of yours.
Okay. This time. All right. Yeah. Well, fair enough. 7 is what 7 is. Obviously, with age, you've lost a little bit of confidence. Fair enough. Okay. Well, we'll start with our first transfer, which is, if you don't get this one, mate, I really, really worry for you. So we're going to go Aston Villa to Manchester City, 100 million.
Tough one. Jack Grealish.
All right. Brilliant. There's one. Okay. Now this one's not as easy, but I still think you'd probably get it. From Crystal Palace to Everton on a free transfer.
Andros Townsend.
2 out of 2. Lovely stuff. Now, Arsenal to Newcastle United, 25 million.
I know his surname. Joe Willock.
Yep, perfect. That's 3 out of 3.
Yeah.
The next one is Aston Villa to Manchester United on a free transfer.
Tom Eaton.
Yeah, now I'm worried because I thought that was going to be quite a difficult one for you. Okay, next one, Norwich City to Aston Villa, 38 million.
That's your friend who's on your shit list, Wendia.
Yeah, that's correct. All right. Then we got Burnley to Norwich City. This one's an undisclosed figure.
Burnley to Norwich City. Look has gone from Burnley to Norwich City.
I don't want to hear that mouse clicking.
I'm sorry. Burnley to Norwich City. Gibson.
Unbelievable. Yeah, you pulled that one out of the bag. Ben Gibson. The centre half.
Yeah. I didn't know if it were him or if they had a midfielder that they took or who I didn't know, but I know Ben Gibson left Burnley. I just didn't realise he'd gone there, so I just took a punt. Okay,
so the next one is Everton to Southampton on a free transfer.
Walcott was the other year, so it's not him. I've no idea.
Well, I think you just said him. It was Theo Walcott.
What?
Yeah, he signed on a free transfer this summer.
Was he on loan last season?
I guess so.
Do I get that then or not?
Well, no, because he didn't give it as your final answer.
Bollocks.
Dear,
that's bad.
Yeah, okay. Well, so far, I mean, maybe I'm being a bit harsh, and again, if I am, it is what it is. But
no, I think you're right. You're right to be strict on that.
Yeah. Okay. The next two have gone from Southampton to Leicester. One on a free transfer and one for 15 million.
Well, Vestergaard's the 15 million guy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Centre half. So yeah, that's him. And then someone on a free transfer.
Yeah.
Ryan Bertrand.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. So now we're in a situation where if you get one of these correct, the fine's coming my way, annoyingly. And the good thing is I've left the hardest ones to last.
Brilliant.
All right. So the first one is Crystal Palace to Burnley on a free transfer.
Free transfer?
Yeah.
I know it is. It's goalkeeper. Hennessy.
Yeah,
Hennessy.
there you go.
Yes.
All right. The fine is coming my way. So start thinking about that fine, big man. All right. So last one is Southampton to Norwich City on an undisclosed fee.
Southampton to Norwich City. Crikey. You're throwing in these Norwich City ones. And like I said, I got quite lucky with give someone, this is going to be wrong, but, was my man Omar Bamadeli, was he from Southampton?
No, it's Angus Gunn, another sub goalkeeper.
Keeper.
Yeah, that's back up to Krul. Again, that's why I thought these last two would be the hardest because they were both backup keepers. But yeah, no, well done, mate. And you did very well. I actually thought that because I hadn't really picked up on some of these transfers, thought maybe I might be able to sneak Tom Heaton and Ben Gibson. And then maybe I didn't. I kind of thought you'd get for a Walcott, but I understand why you didn't, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, Walcott I should have really got. The Heaton one I was always getting. The Ben Gibson one, that's pretty lucky stab, to be honest with you. It was, I was just racking my brain of players who left Burnley this season, and then I remembered he'd left. But that was a lucky stab. But yeah, Walcott I should have got, definitely. That last one, no idea. So
have you, obviously you've had a little bit of time now while you're thinking of Angus Gunn to think up a fine. What have you got coming my way? Obviously I've already got the Lukaku one.
Yeah.
You can give me a second fine for this game week, or in general, whatever you want to do.
Yeah. Your next fine, you cannot use your transfer next game week.
Fair enough. I mean, that's not bad on the wild card, to be fair, to have that. So I'll take that. Okay, that's an interesting one. Yeah, no, lovely stuff. I love the fact both our teams are being now represented by a top class centre forward for your case, Ronaldo, and my case, Lukaku. And I'm really loving the fact that where we were probably maybe about a month ago or something, we were looking at this and seeing who had the better team. I still think you've got a lot of players to pick from, but maybe arguably a bit too many. But right now, if you were to pick, who do you think is going to score more points out of the two, out of Rom and Ron? Who do you think right now, off the top of your head? Let's kind of like remember this podcast and come back to it in a few months' time and laugh or cry or whatever.
Yeah. Ronaldo's going to score more points.
You think he's going to be as good as he was before? Do you think?
I don't think
he'll still be very good for Juve, isn't he?
Yeah. So I think the thing with Ronaldo is he'll score goals. You get the ball to him, and United have definitely got the players to get the ball to him. I'm not saying Chelsea haven't to Lukaku, but Ronaldo's more clinical. He'll score more goals. He's still a machine. He's still, great. His fitness is fantastic. He's not a sort of player they're going to need to be resting every other game or anything like that. He's got the legs still for it. And I think if he's still got the legs for it and he's playing, if he plays similar amount of minutes to Lukaku at the end of this season, there is only one of them who's going to come out on top, and that'll be Ronaldo. If they play the same minutes this season, points per minutes ratio, Ronaldo's will be better than Lukaku's. No doubt about it. And I like Lukaku. I really think he's a great piece in the jigsaw for Chelsea. I think they're going to be great title contenders this year. I think the title race is good. It should be fantastic. We've got 4 teams there. I think who've all got capabilities of winning it. United, City, Liverpool, and Chelsea have all got chances. I mean, I think City could massively regret still not going out and getting an out-and-out, striker, goal scorer, an Harry Kane or whoever. If they had got that, then I'd have really put them head and shoulders going for it. But I think Spurs showed it in that first game of the season, and I know they've run right against Norwich and Arsenal since then, but that's not proving to be difficult for teams at the moment. So I do think it'll be a great title race, but I expect Ronaldo to be above Rom. Yeah.
Nice. I mean, like, my personal opinion is I'm excited by Ronaldo coming back. It's definitely one of those transfers that turns heads and you can't wait for their debut. I mean, there's not many times when that actually happens, to be honest, nowadays, because so many players, we take it for granted how good the Premier League is nowadays for quality. But I just, do you know what? I'm going to go against you. I'm probably predictably going to go against you, but I actually think Lukaku's going to do better. And the reason why is because I just think that the only way, in my mind, Ronaldo does better than Lukaku is if Man United sack Solskjaer. And I'm not saying Solskjaer's a bad manager. I just think Tuchel's he's such a good manager that it will just, everything will be, going back to that talisman theory. I think United have got so many different characters you can claim to be their better player. They've got a lot of very good players, but actually as a team, I just think they've got a group of individuals that on one day they can win 4 or 5-0 against a team like Leeds, and then another day they can draw with a team like Southampton or something like that. And therefore I'm going to say, I think Ronaldo will have a good season, but I do think Lukaku will have a better season. I think Tuchel will find a way of getting him service, and he'll just score for fun, really. And I think you'll be wishing that he comes back to United, but yeah, I mean, the Ron versus Rom debate will start here, and I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more about it as the season goes on.
Definitely will. I think, and like you said, it's going to be great season ahead in the Premier League, and which will make for a great fantasy season as well.
Definitely. So apologies that we've gone on a little bit longer than normal, but that was mainly down to the wild cards. But like we say it every week, but we really do genuinely mean it. Thank you so much to anyone who do listen to this podcast. It means the world to us. I've had some really nice feedback from people recently that have said they've listened to it and they've liked this and like that. And as we said before, we're going to keep doing these because we love doing it. We love talking about football. Realistically, if we didn't press the record button, we'd still be talking nonsense to each other about this. The only difference is we're not allowed to really talk about I suppose I could talk about Watford. You can't really talk about Rotherham, which is a real damn shame, to be honest. little dagger in the back there. No, sorry, mate. I didn't mean that.
It's all right. Don't worry about it. We'll win this weekend. You won't. So
most likely. We'll probably be playing each other next season anyway, mate. But yeah, no, thank you, everyone. And as usual, we'd like to wish you, best of luck for the game week coming. Hope you haven't been too bored by the international break.
Good night, guys. Enjoy.
Cheers, guys.